Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of VGU Talks. We're having a conversation about something that's happening in the world of games. I'm Dom the Expert of Calls from VideoGamesUncovered.com, and today we're talking about, well, Gearbox's newly announced title, Battleborn! Oh yeah, from Borderlands to now Battleborn. Interesting. Very interesting transition that we're going on here. So, if you don't know what Battleborn is all about, obviously we have the announcement trailer that's being played whilst I'm here talking about it today. And we're going to share with you guys what the game is all about, as well as go into detail about what I'm hoping this game is and what I'm hoping this game isn't. Let's put it that way. So let's get in deep, shall we? So this is straight from Game Informer, because it was revealed by them, and it's actually going to be their upcoming cover story, so that's going to be epic. And Battleborn is an arena-based shooter being published by 2K Games for the retail release on PS4, Xbox One, and PC sometime in the year ending 31st of March 2016. So it's gonna be a while, but I guess in the amount of time that they have, Gearbox obviously have plenty of time to work out any kinks, probably show it off at many different events, or release little bits every so often to make sure that it's all good. A potential beta, maybe? Maybe. The upcoming shooter will feature both competitive and co-op modes, as it pits various archetypes against one another in a fight over the galaxy's last remaining star. According to Game Informer's reveal, Battleborn takes the minion smashing and fast leveling often associated with MOBAs and injects it into an intergalactic first-person battle arena. Now, I have to respect Gearbox Software with this. Ever since this was announced, and of course Game Informer said that it's taken stuff that is associated with MOBAs and is changing it around to be a first-person battle arena. Like many other people, I was the kind of person that was thinking, so it's a MOBA. It's sounding a lot like a MOBA with some pretty cool characters, but in a first-person setting. Great. But I do respect Gearbox incredibly well, because they actually made a video that responded to the people saying, is Battleborn just a MOBA? If you haven't seen it, I'll be sure to have a video in the description below so that you guys can check it out yourself. It is a very good video from Gearbox, helped out by Game Informer, to let people know a little bit more about the game, where their inspiration came from, and why they want to do this instead of just making your generic MOBA, which I find incredibly interesting. And as we know so far, there are 6 character designs that have been revealed, including a hulky space marine, an elven huntress, an immortal cybernetic samurai, a steampunk mechanical man, an ornate magic-wielding princess, and a gun-slinging bandit. Pretty sweet. My favourite one so far is by all means the steampunk mechanical guy, because he looks very British and done up. And I love how his cane backs up as being a rifle that he just fires with one hand, and he just looks very posh while firing it. That's probably going to end up being my character when the game comes in. It's looking pretty frigging great. And so far what we know about the game is that one gameplay mode has been revealed, being called Incursion, a 5-on-5 competitive mode in which players compete in an arena full of NPC minions waging a war. Players begin each round on an even keel, but can rapidly level up to 20 and add customizable abilities as they go. So again, it feels more like a MOBA because of all the different MOBA style mechanics they're adding in. But by all means, as I said, go watch the video that I talked about a little bit ago, because that clarifies a lot of things about this game. And so here's something that Randy Pitchford, the president of Gearbox Software, came out about involving the game. He says, as a genre-fused, hobby-grade, cooperative and competitive FPS exploding with eye-popping style and an imaginative universe, Battleborn is the most ambitious video game that Gearbox has ever created. That's cool. It looks very ambitious for what it wants to be. I mean, it's very hard to do your own spin on a MOBA nowadays. The only one that has really done that and has really succeeded in doing their own thing with a MOBA is Smite. And I know with Smite, it's basically the exact same way of playing a MOBA, but they changed it for the third-person view. But the third-person view has changed that game in such a way so that it just feels more dynamic and you feel more immersed in that MOBA instead of just feeling like you're just a god controlling a puppet in an isometric view over a gigantic battlefield. Yes, you can still see flashy abilities, but seeing flashing abilities from above instead of right in front of your face makes a difference, and it really does. But of course now we're going from isometric to third person to first person, and the first person view is going to make some huge changes, because obviously in first person now you've got to put into consideration verticality. Now you've got to put into consideration that you don't want to steer too close to the idea of MOBAs and static tower defensing and laning phases and all that. You want to do your own spin on it, at least from what I saw in that video that they had their response in. They want to add more verticality, more gameplay feel, make it as if what it would be if you had the FPS gameplay style of Borderlands, with its fast-paced, in-your-face gunplay and all that jazz mixed in with the idea of a MOBA. So instead of just static towers, these towers are no longer towers, but they could be like gigantic mechanized or ethereal units that come to life and literally become a being in amongst itself that you have to defeat in order to carry on. And then when you hit the main base, instead of it just being a basic summoning pool, for example, out of League of Legends or even Dota, instead of it being basic like that, it could just be a beast that rises up from it. So instead of it being a static object, that static object becomes an animated, fully defensive being of massive destruction that now you have to work around with your teammates whilst also fighting off the other enemy played characters, which just sounds insane, but insane in a good way. And in all honesty, from what I've seen so far of Battleborn and from what I saw in their video, and I know I keep talking about it, but heck, it's that good. Let's put it that way, it's that good. From everything that I've seen of it so far, I'm literally really hopeful for Battleborn. If there is an event that is putting this game on, I am hoping I get the chance to play it. Simply because I want to see what it's all about. I'm a big MOBA guy. I like my League of Legends. I like my Smite. I like my Dota 2, and I like how they're doing things. But if Battleborn's bringing its hat into the ring, then that's going to start stirring some things up. Because of course, if Battleborn's coming, we know Blizzard's got their MOBA coming as well. There are other companies that are getting on the MOBA market. Some are okay at best, some are looking really promising, and others just aren't quite hitting that mark. But I think Battleborn's going to hit the mark and blow it up. Literally. At least at this moment in time. I've got my fingers crossed for you, Gearbox. But that's all I've got to talk about Battleborn today. I'm really hopeful, I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to some more information as well, possibly some more characters revealed at that. But I'm quite interested as to what you guys think about Battleborn. What characters do you think we could see? Could we maybe see some Borderlands cameos? Because that's a rumour that has been apparently floating around Reddit and Twitter, that I have seen people just trying to nudge at Gearbox saying, are we going to get any Borderlands guys? I want to know. So I want to know, what are you guys looking forward to in Battleborn, or are you just not looking forward to it at all? Are you worried that it's going to be a very generic MOBA? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I will see you next time for another edition of VGU Talks.